my name is Lauren Nash. I am a senior at Oklahoma Wesleyan University, hopefully graduating at the end of this semester. And I am a sports marketing major, and I'm getting a minor in communication arts. So I actually want to spend this time telling you about how I came to be a sports marketing major and what I plan to do with my major once I graduate, because it's not the major I was planning on pursuing when I came to OKWU. I actually came here as a new media and strategy major, which is a part of our communications department, and it combines the graphic design and marketing side required to own a graphic design business, basically. I did a little bit of design work in high school with my high school newspaper, done some photography, a lot of the communication side. It was something I really loved to do, but once I got into the curriculum, I realized that a lot of what they were teaching me was below level, and that I had learned a lot of it in high school already, and so I was really bored. I wasn't being challenged. And that's something I needed, was to be challenged by my coursework, or I was just going to get bored and not do it. That's kind of the problem that I would have had. And so it was interesting about when I was starting to try to really struggle with my deciding whether I was going to change my major or what I would even change my major to. My best friend Carissa came to me and told me that Professor Weaver was actually looking for students to go with him to NASCAR. And he needed a few extra students, and it was the following weekend. Anyone who knows me knows that I hate doing anything without a plan. So the idea of going to NASCAR at the end of the week and making the plan that week, talking to my teachers, getting out of tests, writing papers, getting all of that done in time was nerve-wracking. But I really felt like I should go, like I needed to do this. So I made it work, got to NASCAR, and it was one of the best experiences I had. I mean, I worked as a suite worker, and I stood there and stamped people's hands so they could go up into the suites. But I learned a lot about communication and a lot about talking to strangers, which was something I didn't like doing before this, and I still don't really like doing, but I know how to now. I can do it effectively without being afraid that I'm going to screw up. And so coming back from that, I really figured out that sports marketing was something that maybe I should be pursuing. I mean, I love sports. Football is one of my favorite things to watch, especially the Saints, even though they didn't do well this year. But I realized that this is something I should look into. So I ended up switching to sports marketing as my major. So I ended up going to NASCAR again, but because I was a marketing major, I could go as an intern this time, which meant that I got to work with the marketing and sales department. And I actually met a guy named Phil Ostroff while I was working in the marketing department, and he was actually one of the track photographers. And so we just kind of got talking about photography, comparing his camera to mine, stuff like that, and he invited me to go out and take some pictures with him during the race that night. So got permission from my supervisor, and she said, sure, go ahead, have fun. And it was by far one of the best experiences I have ever had. I got to do what I love, which was sports photography. I hadn't done it since high school, but it's such a thrill for me to be able to do sports photography. It's what I love to do, and I didn't even realize that until I got this opportunity, and it's something that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't switched my major. So I really realized that my passion in life is photography. Even though I don't think I should be getting a communications major here at OKWU, I knew that I still needed to pursue photography. So I added a communications minor to my major and started looking into studying photography and what it would take to become a sports photographer. And it's a really hard business to get into, but I do believe that the school has prepared me for how to do that, especially with the end with Texas Motor Speedway. But one of the things, I have a backup plan. Even though what I really want to do is sports photography, I would really love to work for Disney or some other company I'm passionate about, even if it's not in the sports world. And so I guess the moral of the story is switching your major is scary, and the idea that this decision can affect the rest of your life is overwhelming. But me switching my major is one of the best decisions I ever made, because I still want to do the design work and the photography, but I wouldn't have the connections I do now if I hadn't switched my major.